Well, good morning boys and girls, friends, enemies. Okay, straight, whatever, I don't care. Sorry to harp on about this, but I think there's a few things we need to discuss about the Ebola and the way that the government's dealing with it and the way it's affecting us. One most interesting fact that come out from NT8 or Navy Thomas 8 that I looked up and I can't find anything to contradict it is that being a class 4 contaminant, it needs class 4 containment. That's one of the highest levels there is. That's hermetically sealed room, blah blah, you know what it is. Well, would it interest you to know how many hospitals and how many beds we have in this country that can cope with that? Bearing in mind the government said they don't expect any more than 10 cases in the next year. Yeah, right. Well, we've got 2 hospitals. Yep, 2 for the whole of the UK. Oh, not so bad, you think. Each hospital has got 2 beds. So if you're victim number 5, tough shit. Now, the government says they're training NHS staff. Well, in Texas, they reckon they're well trained and got all the equipment, and yet one of their nurses managed to get on a plane and fly about the country with the virus. They're frantically now trying to contact passengers. So what if only one of those other passengers caught it off her, sitting next to her, whatever, and went to the pub or bar, and then went home to his wife and kids, and then his kids go to school, or her kids. Think about that one. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Now, the government also say, well, we're running checks at airports and Eurostar. Yeah, great. Would somebody please, listening to this, get through to Mr. Cameron and say, what about the thousands, and this is a known fact, it's a statistic, thousands of illegal immigrants that come into this country every year in containers, in the backs of lorries, with illegal passports from decent destinations, those that come on yachts because they can pay, or trawlers. How are we going to stop them if they're infected? How are we going to check them? And a lot do come from this part of the world where Ebola is running rife. Personally, I think that the Cabinet, all the ministers, are sitting in Cobra, which is Cabinet Office Boardroom A, with their fingers in their ears, singing the La La song. While our gloried Prime Minister, sitting at home, with his thumb firmly up his arse, eating truffles and drinking champagne with the other hand, saying to the world and his wife, we're safe, we'll be well protected. We don't do what the common public do. We don't travel on aeroplanes, we use private jets. We don't travel on trains or the underground or go to ports. Are you thinking about your travelling plans? I would. And what if somebody in your village gets it? You're going to go and shake their hand, or are you going to want to get out of it? Word of advice, get a tent, get some supplies, and head to the most remote part of England you can find, or Wales or Scotland. Take a baseball bat, just in case, if you want a game of baseball, that is. This is not zombie apocalypse. You cannot see Ebola coming. You do not even know if this morning you went into a shop, paper shop, Tesco's, and got close enough to a carrier. They are in this country. Another response from our Prime Minister. I know. Let's send 100 troops out there. They're expendable. Why aren't we closing our borders? We're an island. Why aren't we protecting ourselves in the best way we can? Stop all immigration. Don't care where you're from. If you're not a UK citizen and you haven't come from a safe departure point, you ain't coming in. But if you have come from a safe departure point, you are then going to get thoroughly medically examined. And of course, the banks have picked up on this, haven't they? Panic, whoa, mass hysteria, interest rates, whoa, finance, whoa. So we're going back to another crash. I don't see why. I wish somebody had explained it to me. How is the population of Uganda going to affect our economy? We're not spending any money on it, for Christ's sake. We're going to teach a few nurses how to put on suits. Now, NT8 was correct. If you're in the army, you're taught how to wear an NBC suit, nuclear biological contamination suit. But more importantly, you're taught how to go into a shower, an erected shower, with two colleagues who will brush you off, wash you off so thoroughly under high pressure jets. Then you'll walk to the safe side and you have a set sequence of undressing. I don't see that happening in hospitals. Nurses are coming off duty and discarding their uniforms in bins. Not correctly provided bins. They might have a wipe down with fairy liquid. I'm sorry, I have no faith. I'm sure somebody will pop up and say, but. Well, I'm sorry. If but worked, why is this nurse roaming America on an aeroplane? It boggles the mind. Should you be worried? Yeah, I'm sorry, but you should be. This is a nasty little bug. It's heading our way. It's in our country. It's in America. That's how it starts. It only has to spread to one person. Only has to spread to one person to spread to another 10, to spread to another 100, to spread to another 1,000. All it takes, one nurse over here getting on the tube, getting on a train, getting on a local internal flight. Think about it. Personally, I'm going to stay well away from populated areas. I have to go to the airport to pick my daughter up. Am I worried about that? Hell yes, I'm worried about that. Anyway, on that cheerful, chirpy, happy note, I'm going to leave you. Hopefully, a couple of years' time, I'll be speaking to you. But you need to stop believing the lies the government are putting out and start pressuring anybody you know to pressure the government to do something intelligent. Bye for now. Ride safe. Stay happy. Just because you're going to die doesn't mean you can't be happy about it. Bye bye.